All right, everyone. So we're going to talk about two underrated features on the Supernote platform. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the new Ink Hub. There's been a lot of talk about the development of plugins and how that's happening. All of those are very cool and awesome things. But there are a couple of things that the Supernote already does that I don't think get talked about enough. And so in this video, I'm going to walk through really quickly and show you what those are. So right now, you'll see I've got my screen up here, and I'm going to drop down from the top here, and I'm going to go to mirroring. And then it's going to tell me to type in this specific uh, IP code. Now it's IP to IP sharing. I'm going to go ahead and say OK. And then I've already done that just for the sake of the video. But now here is my document. Here is my Supernote. And it's really cool. This moves very, very fast. So I've got both cameras on here to kind of show you what I think this should look like and how fast it just really is. Because the idea being that if you were using this in a classroom or wanting to show something from your device in a meeting, you could really make use of this really fast. So let's go ahead and do a new note. And again, we're going to show this in real time and you'll notice how fast. Now you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network, but we're going to say create. And now it's going to pop open and you've got all of your tool set. So it's fast and it's intuitive and it just works really well. So let's go ahead and turn this so that you can see me write on it. And then I'm just going to make a few notes. So here a few notes. And you can see how fast that is on the screen. Just look how quickly that moves. And again, you get all of your tool sets. If you wanted to type, you could type. If you wanted to add in a sticker, you could go here and you could go into, and you'll see I've got a bunch of different things, but that's because I'm beta testing the plugins. So let's go down and find our stickers here, and we'll go to a sticker. And then what I can do is I can go ahead and add that sticker in. So let's just go to weather and let's add in a lightning bolt. And now I've got my sticker and my note. Now you'll see it's not quite as smooth on the screen, but it's very fast. And then, of course, I can make that bigger if I want to. And now I have my sticker. And of course, I can keep annotating. So pretty cool. I just wanted to show that really quickly, just how fast you can do that. And you can mirror absolutely anything. So if I wanted to go here and I wanted to go to my last open document, I could pop that up on the screen. And now you'll see this is Dave from Tablet Tech's yearly journal. And so I think it's really cool that I'm able to do all of that right here. So this was featured in another video. Please go ahead and watch that video if you'd like on my calendar and just talking about how the different calendars use cases really function. All right. So the other thing that I want to show you, and we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and stop screen sharing. So you just pull down and you press the screen sharing icon again, and you'll see that's gone. What I do is I like to bookmark that, but the problem is occasionally the IP address changes just slightly. So just be careful when you're doing that. So now we'll go in and we're going to go into a PowerPoint. And again, I'm going to leave these up side by side so that you can see them and you can see how this is working. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show InkFlow here. And InkFlow, if you're not familiar, is a way to turn your Supernote into a dedicated Wacom tablet. So it's really a cool feature that has been added to this device. So the best way to get there, and first, before you even go there, you go into settings and you want to go to security and privacy, and you want to make sure that side loading is off. Now, if you've already side loaded stuff, it won't hurt anything. So you can turn this back off after you've sideloaded everything you need, and then you can turn InkFlow and then you can re-enable it. But I'm going to leave it off, and then I'm going to go into my settings. And of course, you don't see it on my home screen here because I don't use it as often. And then I'm going to look for InkFlow, and InkFlow is right here. So I'm going to press InkFlow, and it's going to say not connected. So what I have to do is I have to connect my device with a USB directly into my computer, and you'll see it popped up a bunch of things. So now here you'll see InkFlow, and this is what it looks like. And you can have this be, it gives you, you can identify your pen touch area and you can expand that or shrink that. You can make it a custom ratio. You can have the assistive dots or not. I like to have them just in case. And this also will auto rotate. So right now I'm just using this for a demonstration, but you can see my device here. And when I go and I hover over here, you can see there at the top, see how it's showing that little pointer and magnifying glass? So if I wanted to use this, I can use it as a touch and say someone asked me to mark up a document or to circle something or edit something, I could sit here and I could draw around this. Now you have to get used to how it works, and it does take a little bit of time, but wherever I like that it gives you that extra piece here. So I can say hello, or I can say edit. And as long as I'm aware of where my pen is, I can use this in multiple different ways. So I can go here, I can change it to green, and I can say great. And it's kind of funny, just as an aside, I had someone get on to me for using AI generated thumbnails. So I used this thumbnail that I made all by myself, put it up against an AI generated thumbnail for the same video, and this one got trounced. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but again, this was on my 5-year journey with the Supernote. So that just shows you, and look how fast that is. Moves very fast. I mean, the latency is as close to zero as you can get. A, because it's wired, but when you think that a cheap Wacom tablet like this costs anywhere around $25 to $30, and the expensive ones with that level of pressure sensitivity cost upwards of hundreds of dollars. So watch here as I start to draw. I'll get thicker and thicker. And the more pressure I put, the thicker that line gets. And then look at how good those lines just look in general. And I'm accidentally, my 2-finger erase works on here and turns it into an eraser. So that's pretty cool. It was automatically reading that by accident because of my palm. So the palm rejection, not quite as good as without this, but just watch how fast and how clean those lines are. And even if I go slow, again, almost no line wobble. I don't know, pretty cool. And this will also work with Adobe. This will work with drawing programs. Again, I am not an expert in this, but Brad Colbo did a recent video on some of these newer tablets that are coming out that are these old school Wacom or drawing tablets. So Huion makes them, XP Pen. And it's just really cool that this doubles as that. So it's just pretty neat. So again, this was a very quick hit video. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you can, you'll see the Buy Me a Book QR code up in the top left-hand corner. Consider buying me a digital book or signing up and becoming a member. And thank you to all those who are already members on Patreon, YouTube, Buy Me a Book. Really appreciate the support, but stay tuned for the next one. And until then, keep on moving forward, and I will talk to you soon. Bye now.